Hi everyone, welcome to the IOD family. This is the video that you have been asking for the longest time.
Apparently.
The thing is, we already made kind of a how we met video, but we didn't even got to the point where we got together, so... And it was so long ago, so we decided to just redo the video, but telling the whole story in only one video. This is what we're going to try right now, but you have to know that this was... Like, this story happened so long ago. We are old people.
We try to be short.
So, a long time ago.
Not so long, not so long.
Not so long, actually.
I disagree.
17 years ago.
Oh yeah?
So I let you judge. Is this a very, very long time ago or not? From your point of view.
I thought it was like a couple of months.
I was in the middle of my exam, and I have decided that at the end of the exam period, I will go to Paris by myself for the first time ever.
Give you a little bit of context?
Yeah.
All of this happening in the romantic city, magic city of Paris.
Let's put it like that. And so I took the train, everything was fine, and it was a beautiful day, sunny and everything. And then I got to Paris, put one foot on the floor and felt overwhelmed and lost. That's basically what happened.
How many times did you went to Paris from your city?
No, I went to Paris several times, but never by myself.
Okay.
It was the first time ever that I went by myself, and so I felt overwhelmed and lost. And so I was like panicked and oh my god.
So
what am I
funny
doing
because
here?
she used to live only half an hour from Paris with the train, so it's not like she's from the countryside or it's Paris, so it's still considered like Greater Paris.
Yes, but you have a first time for everything.
Yeah,
right?
you're right. Yeah.
I was looking for help and I saw a man, one man, with an oversized pink t-shirt, with baggy shorts and big...
Was I? Yeah?
Yeah, big, I don't know what were your shoes, but they were pink.
How you know better?
I remember every detail. And he was waiting, like he was the only person who was not moving at the exact moment. So naturally I went to him and I was like, help me, I need help, I'm lost. I come from Mantes-la-Jolie and it's the first time I'm in Paris. I wanted to go to H&M and now I'm just lost. He looked at me and he laughed. Obviously, he started to laugh. That's what he does every time. He laughs at me. Am I so funny?
You were and you still. Yeah.
He asked me my age. He was like, how old are you? And I was like, I'm 18. And he was like, what? You're 18 and you're lost. You never took the train by yourself. And I was like, it's the first time. Instead of helping me, he started to ask a million questions. Can I ask why?
To have more context. To better understand how like 18-year-old at that time is like you're an adult already. It's and you're from like the suburb. How come you don't even know nothing about like Paris? Like
I was a baby, and I
are
knew...
you an alien or something like that?
No, it's just I think I'm from a very protective family, and like I was not allowed to go to Paris by myself. Like obviously, I was going with my friends. Shout out to my best friend Saleh. Like she was literally, and I say this the last time I saw her in Switzerland, I said this to her. I said I moved from your custody to my husband's one because that's literally what happened. Like she was my Momo at the time. She was
has no sense of orientation.
No, zero. That's true. And
she
still
doesn't know how to use Google Maps.
No, I don't.
Maps.
No.
I don't. She can't read no maps.
And you know what? When I go out with my kids, they walk in front of me. And they're like, Mom, we got it. Okay, just follow us. We got it. The only one. I know I cannot be the only one. And you know what? I swear, for me, this is just normal to be like that. Like when I see a sister, like another woman being so comfortable with reading maps and stuff like that, I'm like so impressed.
I was doing at that station. I was waiting at one of my best friends. And he was like,
he's African, so he's just like me, and he was very late.
I was waiting for over 40 minutes,
so
I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna leave because obviously he's not coming. And I saw that beautiful young lady coming to me straight, like with a frightened air on her face, like
I was like, oh,
yeah, like she was just born. I was like,
help me.
Yeah.
told him that it was the last day of exams, and he was asking me for my plans for year to come. And I said to him, I want to study medicine, but I need to get an apartment in Paris, because medicine in France, I don't know in other countries, but in France it's so competitive and so hard.
I was impressed by
Yeah,
that.
like there's like 10,000 students for only 300 spots. For the second year, so you really need to live in Paris. Like if you want to make it, you need to live in Paris and everything. And so that was my plan. But to get an apartment in Paris, because I'm not from a wealthy family and everything, I needed a job, right? And so he was like, "Oh, you need a job? I can help." That was your trick. Like he was working at the airport at the time, and he was like, "Give me your number, and then I will try to talk to my boss about you, and we'll see what we get."
And
And
at
so
that time, I have to say, I helped a lot of people.
That's true.
Until this day, some of them are still working there. But
Yeah.
so, that's a good plan, well paid, and
So that
not that hard, and
that sounds good. And I was actually I was really feeling like God sent you, because I was like I had zero.
Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
Sixth Sense.
I was like I have zero plan to make it in Paris. Like how will I be able to find a job? How? Anyways, he got my number. He didn't tell me his real name at the time, and I knew nothing about him. But he was kind enough to show me what train. Like he was like teaching me. He's always like this. Like when I struggle with something, he's like, "Okay, let me teach you. You see this, and you need to." And he was like teaching
It was
me.
so obvious, but I know it's not on you. I know you can read some monitors, but it was just maybe you were like a little bit out of your mind, or maybe
I
a
was
little bit
overwhelmed.
stressed. So
Yeah.
you couldn't even look up and look like, what's
No. The
I don't
truth is,
know.
there's too many informations on these walls and on the roofs and on the There's so many informations. It was just
That's just like a regular station.
no. It's
train
Saint-Lazare.
station.
It's one of the biggest in Paris. So.
Yeah. So I can imagine if you was in an airport.
So he showed me which train I should take, and he escorted me to the train and literally put me in the train. That's what he did. And then I went home, and I was feeling so weird about what just happened. I was thinking about
What you
the
mean?
whole.
Weird.
Yeah, I was thinking about the whole conversation we had. Like it was the
Okay.
first time I had this type of conversation with someone. Like I don't know. I felt something. I
Okay.
don't know how to tell you, but I felt something, and so.
I felt it too.
What did you feel?
I don't know. You had something special, like that kind of how to say that. I had a feeling like you were somebody special.
And what I felt, I think, was I was reassured. Like he was so reassuring, so. Like he knew what he was doing. He knew. I felt like he knew everything, and it was so reassuring.
I knew how to read a monitor. Actually.
But that was impressive
it.
at the time. Oh.
Okay, I'm very impressed.
As soon as I got home, I just took off my shoes, and my phone rings. Like he called me straight away, and he was like, "Oh, I just wanted to make sure you made it safe home." I was like, "Wow!" But something else was tickling in my head during this train travel, and I was like, "I know nothing about him. I don't know his name. I don't know where he's from. I don't know like his cultural background, you know what I mean, his ethnicity. I didn't know nothing about it, and at the time it was very important.
Wow.
Because thinking about us getting together was part of the thoughts, obviously.
Okay.
But I was like, I'm not going to start thinking about it since I don't know where he's from. Because little bit of context. I'm from an African Muslim country, and he is from an African Arab country, which is not the same. Because there's a lot of racism. I've experienced racism since a very young age from people from these countries, and like that's just how it is, and how I think it was worse 17 years ago. From his reaction, like he was like, "Why is it so important? It's not so important. You don't have to know where I'm from." Blah blah blah. So I was like, from his reaction, I just knew, and I was like, okay, no problem. What's your name? Your real name, like I need to know your name. And he was like, "Why is it important?" I was like, "Are you serious?" I was like, don't tell me your name is Mohammed.
She was right.
Don't tell
Bam.
me your name
Straight.
is Mohammed. And he laughed so loud. He was like, ah, 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 ah.
Boom.
And I was like, oh my God.
Right shot. Yeah.
And
First
so,
try. Boom.
Yeah.
You
And
guessed it
so
right.
we had a very long conversation about it. I was like, I live like I have so many racism experiences in my life. Like I had like I don't know why people from your country don't like us. Like the hate is so much that I'm like, no, we cannot, like, no, don't even think about us being together. And he was giving me so many examples of interracial couples, men coming from like Morocco or Algeria or Tunisia with women from black African countries. And he was like, you don't have to make it so general. I'm not racist, my family is not racist, my country is not racist. Like, he was defending himself. So I had to sleep on it and see if I would pick up the phone again.
No, what was great about that conversation at that time was like I was very, not to say impressed, but I was kind of, if she wants to go that deep into the conversation, means like she doesn't want, it's not like she wants to simply date. She obviously are able to see long-term relationship already. So I was like, oh, very good point.
Yeah, and this is something very cultural, because in my area, like the area I was living in, we don't just date people. Like I told you, I'm from a Muslim family, and we don't date. Like, we don't bring boyfriends at home. We don't, like, this is not something we do. If you date someone, you have to envision marriage. Like, you don't date just freely like that. Like, it's not something that we do, and it's not something that I was going to do. I was absolutely not interested in this. So yeah, I had to see the big picture first, just to see, am I going into this or not? Even if I didn't want to, because I knew it would be a struggle with the family. I knew already it would be such a struggle. And even from your side, like, I know your mom, yeah, like I know your mom always dreamed of you marrying a Tunisian woman. Like, it's just normal, and I can't, no, I don't know if it's normal, but it's the way it is. Like, you have to accept that. And same for my parents. So I was like,
Yeah, traditions are huge in our culture also.
Yeah.
The dream of my mom would have been to marry me with our neighbors out there. So
in Tunisia. Same for us. But I think something a little bit irresistible was happening. Like, I was like I just...
Am I Mr. Magic? Who gave me that name?
Yeah. I like having conversation with you. And so the next time he called me, I picked up the phone, and I was so happy to pick up the phone, and I was so happy to talk to him. I liked every conversation we were having. So, and also, he was calling me a lot.
Still to this day.
Still to this day. Like, he's calling me several times a day. Every single day.
I think I never skipped a day without calling you since
You
day
did.
one. Oh, yeah?
You did, but there's always something happening. Like, you had incidents and stuff like that. But in normal days, like when everything is going just normal, you were calling me several times a day. Yeah. And so, how did we got together? So we were not together. We're just calling, having conversations every day. And he talked to my sisters as well.
Yep.
Yeah. He was talking to my sisters.
Great sisters-in-law.
Yeah.
And so many of them.
2 weeks after we first met, he called me, and he got the answering machine. And at the time, what I did was I was singing on the message. So he calls, I didn't pick up. He hears me singing, and he left a message. He was laughing. I was laughing out loud, like, ha ha ha. I heard that.
Oh, you're right.
And
yeah,
I'm like,
I remember.
what the I was so pissed off. Like, why are you laughing? So he called me a little bit later. I was not calling him back. Like, why are you laughing at my voice? So I picked up the phone. I was distant on the phone. And I didn't want to talk about it at all. All of a sudden, he's like, so you sing? And I'm like...
You can sing.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, a little bit. But I wanted to avoid the subject because he was laughing and I was feeling so hurt. And he's like, well,
I was definitely not making joke on the
No,
skills.
but he was like, well, you know, I have some friends in the music industry. You can certainly improve on, you know, the tune and stuff like that, but maybe we can arrange a meeting. He was...
Yeah, but
And I was not happy about him saying that. Like the you can improve. The audacity. He didn't say anything more. He was like, okay, you know what? Maybe we can meet this weekend, and I will introduce you to my friends. And so I lied to my parents. Obviously, I took the train and I went there, and he came to wait for me at the train station. Do you remember that? Because he knew I would get lost if he didn't.
I had to come and pick you up.
Yeah, and so it was the second time I met him in real life. And so he had this little ghetto car, like very destroyed. I was
wow.
shocked. I was like, this car is, wow.
Yeah.
Like the doors were not matching the rest of the car.
You just-
Well, you were young and this was
Yeah.
one of your first cars. Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
And he was not playing rich guy at all. Like he told
I was
me he
not.
was working.
So-
Yeah, he was working at the airport and he had that ghetto car. Well,
Yeah.
so I went to the car. He started to drive and he took me somewhere. It was very weird to me. Like we went in a building, but from the back of the building, and we had to go to a stairs, and it was like
basement.
to a basement. It was so dark, and I was scared. Then we go there. I see a room with kind of a living room with couches and TV and stuff like that, and I'm like, okay, there's empty drinks, empty bread sachets, and I'm like, what's that? Why did you bring me here? And he invites me to sit down on the couch, and I'm like, I'm really nervous, like, why did you bring me here? I was afraid. And he sees that I'm nervous, and he's like, okay, come on, stand up. And then he take me to another room, and like, guys, a dream. I see a big room, red, and it's a studio recording with microphones, and like, it was a recording studio, and I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, I told you I have my friends. You didn't tell me it was yours.
Yeah, that time, yeah.
Like it took you a few weeks to tell me actually it's my studio, but yeah, and that's the reason why he brought me there. He just wanted to show me, like, you sing, there's a studio, maybe we can do something together.
Right.
You know? And wow, my God, I was so impressed. It was like the chances that someone who has a recording studio and someone who sings and writes songs, and he told me a little bit after that, I was looking for a female singer who can write for the longest time. And so it was like the chances that us to meet completely randomly, like this was so amazing.
And I do remember at that time I met so many female artists. Some of them had great voices but were unable to write songs or come out with stomp lines, and so it was only like urban male artists that was writing for them, and it was definitely not what I was looking at that time.
Yeah,
I wanted that authenticity, and So
voila, this is what happened this day. And then we started to talk a little bit about music, but also a little bit of about our relationship. Obviously I was liking him, he was liking me, and so we were talking about it. He was like, okay, you know what, when I fell in love with someone, it's too late for this person. Don't make me fall in love with you and then tell me you're not, like, go right now.
Stuck.
Yeah, that's what he was saying basically. I never had a boyfriend before, and so I was like, oh wow, this is a lot of pressure. But what happened is that we started to see each other every weekend. Like he was picking me up at the train station in Paris, and we were just walking.
And we were.
This is what we were doing. Like the first, I would say the first 2 months, we would see.
I love to walk. I'm a walking guy.
We would see each other every weekend, and he would take me to Paris, just walking and showing me everything. And it was, oh my God, it was so amazing.
Paris,
yeah,
magic.
and he would help me with the future. Like I told him I needed an apartment, and he would like literally write strategies to get an apartment. And it worked, everything worked. Like he was helping me with the paperwork, college registration, like everything. He was helping me with everything. And we started to work the music. And it was like, he was not like, okay, we're going to make music and make you a big star. No, he was like, you need to learn a little bit. Let's try, let's start slowly. He was really helping me build something solid. And even when he was making me presents, it was always something that would serve me. Like the first present he made me was a computer. he gave me a computer.
How romantic.
I know, it's, no, but you know my vibe.
Yeah.
Like I'm not, like obviously I learned to love beautiful bags and jewelry and stuff like that. But these are the things that I want to buy myself.
Yeah,
but
at that time you needed one, and you wanted to start
like,
making
yes.
beats. To say, okay.
And my vibe is this: like, if you want to give me something useful. This meant the world
PC?
at the time. He gave me a
MIDI keyboard.
Yeah, a keyboard to start writing like songs and stuff like that.
Oh my God!
It was just absolutely amazing, and he was teaching me everything, and he was just an amazing boyfriend at the time. And so we got together after 2 months of walking through Paris. I told my parents after 2 months, and the funny story is that my mom was giving birth to my last brother, and he was so shocked. He was like,
yeah.
What did you say? Your mom is giving birth? It was like, you're having a little brother? And this was 2 months after we met, so this was so fun, and this was the time we got together. Anyway, so we started to do music together as well as being a couple. We continued to walk through Paris, and at the same time, I was starting to write my own music. In the meantime, he told me, I love you, for the first time, and he was like, now you're stuck with me. And I was like, oh really? Yes, you did. You did. He was like, like he was just telling me how a gift I was for him. But I was feeling the same. But it's just that I was not able to say it because it's not something I'm good at. We were like working as a team from the very beginning, and
we are hard workers. Yeah.
Yes, hard workers, and at the same time, like just respectful to each other. Like every time he has a goal, I'm just pushing, and he same with me. So what I was saying is 2 years after getting together, we worked on everything, and we got our first record deal. And every major record label in France reached out to us after our first song that we put out, and everyone wanted to sign me. And so this is just because of the work we have done together, and so
because of your talents, obviously.
Thank you. But you helped me so much, and we started to build something. Like we started to build together. Just to tell you that we never stopped dreaming and building and loving each other, and then we had kids, and now we're here on this channel, and it's still building and loving each other and respecting each other and pushing each other kids. And pushing our kids now. Like this is but like yes, we have always felt like relationship but partnership, like it's you know what I mean. And
sometimes when we talk to some of our couple friends, they're like, how can you be working together, like sticking together 24/7? But I don't know, for us it just seems natural.
It's natural.
That's the best relationship I could ever think of. Like you're more than a lover, partner, best friend, you're everything. She's my life, basically. She's my life.
We talked way too much on this video. It's gonna be time to edit it, and maybe you are going to do it.